All right, let's just get right to it. We're about to take one of the most basic ideas we all live by and completely dismantle it. Using just pure logic, we're going to land on a conclusion that might just blow your mind. Time, as we think of it, doesn't actually exist. I mean, really think about this for a second. The past, it's gone. The future, it hasn't happened yet. So the only thing that's real is right now, the present moment. But how long is now? Is it a second, a millisecond? Or is its duration, well, nothing? This is the rabbit hole we're about to go down. Okay, so for time to even be a thing, it has to exist in one of two ways. It's either a smooth, continuous flow, or it's made up of tiny, separate little moments. There are no other options. So let's explore both of these paths and see where they lead. A good way to picture this is continuous time is like a river, right? It just flows, completely unbroken. Discrete time, on the other hand, is more like a movie projector, clicking through individual separate frames. Logically, it's got to be one or the other, right? Let's start with the first possibility. What if time is continuous? This feels pretty intuitive, but as you're about to see, it leads us straight into the paradox of infinity. So let's just assume for a minute that time flows smoothly, with no jumps or gaps. I mean, that's kind of how we feel it passing, day to day. But when you really start to scrutinize this idea, a huge problem pops up. Just think about 1 single second passing. For time to move from the 1 second mark to the 2 second mark, how many different points in time does it have to pass through? This is where it gets crazy. To get to 2 seconds, you first have to get halfway there, right? To 1.5 seconds. But to get to that point, you have to get halfway to it, to 1.25 seconds, and so on forever. You can keep dividing the remaining time infinitely. You'd have to cross an infinite number of moments. And that's a massive logical problem. You can't cross an infinite finish line. It's impossible. If time has to pass through an infinite number of points just to get from 1 second to the next, then no time could ever pass. Movement would be impossible. So the whole idea of continuous time, it just completely falls apart. Okay, so continuous time is a logical dead end. That only leaves us with one other possibility. What if time isn't smooth at all? What if it jumps from one moment to the next in tiny little steps? All right, so under this new model, time moves in these distinct, separate chunks. You can almost picture it like a cosmic clock, where each tick is the smallest possible slice of time. Let's give this smallest possible unit a name. We'll call it a time quantum. Think of it like a single pixel of time. You absolutely cannot slice it any thinner. This is the fundamental building block in this discrete model. Now this brings us to the killer question. If this time quantum is the absolute smallest unit possible, how long does it actually last? What is its duration? Logically, the only possible answer is 0. Because think about it. If it had any duration at all, even a tiny, tiny fraction of a second, you could cut that duration in half, which would create an even smaller unit of time. But we already said the time quantum is the smallest indivisible unit, so its own duration has to be 0. And here is the paradox for this path. If every single building block of time, every time quantum, has a duration of 0, what happens when you add them all up? Well, 0 plus 0 plus 0, you can do that forever and you're still stuck at 0. No time could ever pass this way either. So we're stuck. We've basically hit a logical brick wall. Continuous time is impossible to get through, and discrete time adds up to nothing. So what on earth is going on? You see, neither of our two possibilities, the only two possibilities, can withstand scrutiny. Both paths lead to a dead end, and that forces us to a really startling realization. Maybe our first assumption that time itself exists was wrong all along. The inescapable conclusion we've just walked through together is that time can't be continuous and it can't be discrete. It just doesn't fit into either of the only two categories that are possible for its existence. And if time can't be either of the only two things it could possibly be, well, then the only logical answer left is as simple as it is profound. Time, as an independent thing, does not exist. So if we aren't experiencing time, then what are we experiencing? The answer is actually pretty simple. Change. The universe isn't static, right? It's a collection of processes, all in constant motion. And what we call time is nothing more than our perception of all that change happening. Here's a really easy way to wrap your head around it. Imagine if everything in the universe, every atom, every particle, froze perfectly still. If absolutely nothing was changing, would time still be passing? According to this logic, nope. Without change, there is no time. And this leaves us with one final, absolutely mind-bending question to chew on. If time is just our experience of change, does that mean every future event, every future state of the universe already exists? Are we just moving through a reality that's already laid out, with our consciousness just lighting up one moment after the next? What do you think?